when we said that then Allah, as if you wage a war against Allah and His Messenger. That is not said about zina, as big as a fahisha. No, كان فاحشة وساء سبيلا. It's an abomination and it's the worst of way to do. That is zina. Riba, you're not just angry Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disobeying, you have raised the sword as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before you, and you're fighting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What happened to that? Why? Because even though it's a little credit card, it's a little house, when it's added up, when it compiles, we see the devastation to the entire world, the good and the bad. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that warning against it, inshallah.
So car finance, you're saying that for any car maker, like Toyota, Honda, or anybody, you can just finance with
If the financing coming from the company itself, even if the company itself borrows.
But I heard that like let's say Toyota, the financing company, they are different part of it or something.
If it's up, when you talk about big companies, they're conglomerates. They're a big holding company and it has many subsidiaries,
right,
fully owned by them.
Right.
So if it's Toyota Motor Credit, their profit and the entire being is owned by Toyota itself. Then Shar'an, it is a part of Toyota.
How you know that when you're financing, you ask them this good thing.
Now who's doing the financing? Is Toyota Motor Credit. Usually Toyota have credit company or Honda, the major Ford is the same thing.
Any car maker.
Yes. And if you go to one of them and tell, you know what, you're a new buyer or whatever, then we have this bank that can do the financing. Refuse.
Is it okay to invest in gold to save your money from inflation?
Absolutely.
And the points that you get off the credit cards, even though you didn't pay any interest, but you get points and they send you like $200 for the points?
If it's a promotion thing or because you spend the money, but there's no riba and you didn't pay any riba, and again, it's a doubtful thing, but you can use that, but be careful because all that to make you spend and fall into riba. The best invention in the world when it comes to that is debit cards. And save you some, inshallah, inshallah. Gold also, I just want to give you an example. For the brothers, I've seen myself a gold coin that was issued in 1942 for $10. So you gave the bank $10 in 1942 to give you that $10 coin. Today it's worth $900 and add the historical value. They keep printing money. How do you solve that $6 trillion? You think that $6 trillion worth of gold that they sold to issue that money? No, print us more money. They print so much money they're running out of trees right now. So gold is a good way, inshallah, to keep the value and fight the inflation that is caused by none other than riba, inshallah.
What are IRA and Roth IRAs?
These are investment tools, and I advise every brother to learn about it. Because you save a lot of money in taxes, there's legal ways. I advise you, if you need, I know a good Muslim financial planner that can save you a ton of money legally with structured things. For example, if you have a SIP IRA, you own a business, you have the right to take 25% of your income and put it in an IRA account where you can invest tax-free till you retire. So you make $100,000 self-employed, $75,000 only are you going to pay taxes. Legally, the government does that. You can give to your children $13,000 a year and it's tax-free. There's so many ways that you can save. Using the laws, and the laws are designed for that, so learn that. A lot of people, inshallah, do that. Yes, but I'm sorry.
What about in times of unemployment? I mean, you just need to get by a couple of months or something.
Well, if it's a necessity, I'd rather that I go to a Muslim brother and borrow money from him, aqard hasan, and there's a lot of good brothers that will do that I go to a credit card. If it's a matter of life and death, and this is something that a lot of people say, darura, they think darura is, when the air conditioning is, losing 1 degree up or down. Darura min ad-dar, in the Arabic language, which is harm. It's a matter of life or death. So, inshallah, whatever that you can, but don't fall into it, inshallah. And I want you to know slavery, al-abudiyya. When it happened mostly, the main source for it, at the time of Muhammad is that I lend you money, you don't pay, then I own you, and I own your family, and I own your children. I take you and sell you in the market. That's how slavery started. Riba. The last question, inshallah. Yes, brother.
I have a follow-up question on the buying houses on foreclosures.
Yes.
The bank is not in the business of buying and selling houses. Right?
That's not a condition. That is not a condition. The condition to make it a halal transaction that I'm buying from the owner. Whether the owner in the business of owning that or he just owns that product. If I bought it from him directly, there's no middleman, and there's a tarari, there's an acceptance and full disclosure about the product, then it's allowed and it's halal inshallah. That's not a condition of making it halal inshallah. Final question inshallah.
But over there they will check your credit too.
Where? Yeah, you're applying,
You
in
said that, right?
a regular way, no problem. You have no late payments the same way, but the transaction itself is halal, inshallah. Inshallah.
Being a realtor as a job.
Realtor is halal unless you have the business card of the mortgage company, which they give you points or perks for promoting their business. Then you're promoting the business of the Murabi. But to help people buy houses at good prices, absolutely halal.
But you're involved with the transition, the loan and...
No, I am showing you the house. How you buy the house, that's your business.
Okay.
Unless I tell you, you know what, I know a good mortgage company, we're going to give you a good deal. Then I fell into Riba myself. Inshallah, I hope that we tell everyone that we know. Please write it down so you don't forget. Make a vow, inshallah, and transform the debts and the enslavement to credit card companies and banks into true equity and true ownership, inshallah, in this country. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you, falling into riba to begin with, and getting you out of riba, inshallah, for your sake and your family as fast as possible. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. Nobody else.
We would like to thank Imam Moustafa Zayed for coming here tonight at NCMC and giving a very beneficial presentation which has practical implications. I hope that you benefited from this session, and I would like Imam Moustafa Zayed to just give a brief overview of his upcoming debate with Robert Spencer, and inshallah close the program with Quran.
Yes, inshallah, I think most of you know that the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had offered the book, The Lies About Muhammad. There was this book, The Truth About Muhammad, that Robert Spencer, probably the biggest basher and attacker of Islam worldwide. He's in that business. There's an extreme Zionist organization that was just released in the Jerusalem Post that they funneled to him $920,000 in 3 years alone. And that's what we know. There's many other people that fund that man. The amount of lies and fabrication in that book is mind-boggling. So one of the ladies in the class that I give in ICJ, been given a class for 5 years for people who just accepted Islam, came to me with tears and said, you know what, this is what they pushed to us. Is this the prophet that you follow? Is this the religion that you follow? About 155 of the worst fabrication on lies that would make you blood boil. And, I told myself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked me, whatever knowledge that I have, that what did you do about this? For the past 2 years, I authored the book, alhamdulillah, and released it. It's called The Lies About Muhammad, How You Were Deceived into Islamophobia. It's available on Kindle, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all over the place. Alhamdulillah, people picked it up, and it did a lot of damage to him. SubhanAllah. He's on Fox News and CNN, almost he lives there. And I have minimal exposure. But yet the points that he used to make a big fuss about it, that I mopped the floor with him in the book, with the Quran and Sunnah, he does not discuss anymore. But he still makes that claims, this is supremacist religion, the jihad this and stealth this and that. Alhamdulillah. So I debated him in a Christian channel out of Michigan the other day on last Tuesday. And inshallah, Imam Zaman, he said he has the link, and we have access to it, my 15 minutes, which we did very well, inshallah, as much as we could. But obviously they were defeated, so now we want another match. So now they designed this program that's going to be on the 28th of January, an hour and a half, and it's going to be timed by the minute, because they tried to cut my volume, and they gave him the beginning speech, and at the end, they gave him way more time than they gave me. And I debated him and Daniel Pipes together. They're the two worst ever in the world about Islam. So inshallah, it's going to be on the 28th, and I'm going to send a link to Sheikh Zaman, inshallah, to announce it. And inshallah, I urge you, please get that book, give it to your children, read it for yourself, understanding. So many people, good Muslims, that come to me, and my son came from college and he denounced Islam, and my daughter denounced Islam. Why? They heard one accusation about Islam, like the marriage of Sayyidah Aisha, or the marriage of Sayyidah Zainab bint Jahsh, or jihad this, and what? It could be diffused with one line, one sentence, one ayah. And they do not know, and the parents do not know. And our kids are bombarded in public schools. So we need to protect ourselves. If someone who fears Islam, hand it to him. If someone who is, attacking Islam, hand it to him and let him read it. And some of the people just deceive like anyone else and they think, you know what, Islam is a vicious religion, violence, terrorism, and all that kind of stuff. Tell them the truth. Because it is about the existence that we have in this country, inshallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us izz and give us man'a for Islam and make us the protectors of His deen, inshallah. Jazakumullah.